In this video we're going to be working out whether we still need a daily trainer when we've got super trainers. What is up everybody, and welcome to one of our world famous viewer interaction videos. Yes, they're world famous, even people in Japan watch these videos. Okay, right, so viewer interaction video, that means you need to get involved, because the first thing I want you to do is go into those comment section and say, do you actually think whether you need a daily trainer anymore, because you could probably buy a super trainer for the same sort of money. Okay, so firstly, let's just talk briefly about the differences, I think, and then we'll come on to what I think about it, and then we'll get your input from there. So, daily trainer, classic example here, we've got a Saucony Ride. It's the shoe that can do everything in your rotation. You could in theory take this into a race, you can do park run in it, you can do a nice steady run walk in it, you can literally do everything in it. And a good daily trainer should be able to take you from couch all the way through to race day. Now they come in various different forms, they come in various different price points. You do find that they tend to range from 100 to 150 pounds. There are some shoes out there which are ridiculous, like the Nimbus 25 for example. But the general feeling is you get a relatively nice midsole compound, breathable upper to a degree, fits true to size hopefully, around 9 to 10 ounces if we can possibly. And like I said, the most important thing is the price. I think it's also worth mentioning the outsole. I think the outsole on the daily trainer is really important, especially for me. I look for something that's durable, but also that gives me plenty of traction on some of the tarmac or like gravelly roads that I run on. So in 2023, we've seen a bit of a boom in these sort of shoes, these super trainers. So what is a super trainer? Well, it basically is what's the best way to describe it? Well, let's put it like this. If this had a sort of baby with a daily trainer, then you'd probably get that. So here I've got the fuel cell RC or SC, sorry, Elite, which we've got a big slab of fuel cell on it. We've got the carbon plate underneath and a belly there upper, and you sort of sit on it with a carbon plate and off you go, and you go and run a marathon. Now what's tended to happen is that some of that technology, and this started back with the Saucony Endorphin Pro, Saucony Endorphin Speed 3, has started to filter down into shoes that we can use every day. So here, classic example, you've got the Arch, the Energy Arc technology, you've got the fuel cell midsole, but you've got then a more traditional daily trainer feel to the upper. You've got a wide toe box, you've got a bit of width. On the outsole you've got much more of a rubber coverage than you have on there, and it's just set up a little bit more versatile and a little bit more forgiving than the race day shoes. Now these shoes are retailing about 160 to 175 pounds here in the UK, and that's where most of them seem to be forming. Now like I said, the thing is here is these are taking the technology that are in the super shoes and putting them into a platform in which you can do daily work in. So that brings up the question, do you actually need a daily trainer? Because in theory, everything that you can do in this, you can do in this, but you can actually then take this into race day. Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't necessarily run a race in the Ride, well this is the 15, I wouldn't necessarily run a race in this, although I've seen people do it, but I would comfortably run a half marathon in the SC trainer too. I would easily be able to do my goal pace work in this, I'd be easily be able to do my speed stuff in this. I've got the plate, so I'm getting that propulsion as well. I've got this, you know, pimped up midsole compound. But with this, I've got a lower stack, I've got a firmer ride, and I've got a back to basics feel. So it's a complete contrast to this. But if you're spending 100, 150 pounds on a daily trainer, why not spend 165 and get something that you can then take through to race day? And this is the thing, I think some of this comes down to the argument, do you or should you train in carbon plates, because obviously it's got a plate in it, this doesn't, and that's I think a separate conversation for another day. I think it's valid to include it a little bit in here, whether you should or you shouldn't. I personally like to mix it up, that's just me. I like to get the propulsion and the feel on race day especially. That said, I don't mind having it in a training shoe. Maybe I'm doing longer miles and I want some goal work in it, that's where it comes in useful. Or I'm doing some tempo work in the week, but you know, it might be mixed in with some other work. Okay, so that's where the shoe works for me. But yeah, this whole thing brings up the whole big question of, do you really need a daily trainer in this sort of basic form when you can now get these shoes close to the money and what these are retailing at? So here's where I'm at with it, right? I think if you could pick these up like you can on Start Fitness for like £65, and by the way, you can use my code 40 runs and get 10% off. But if you can get these cheap, then it's probably worth getting them, right? Because who's, you know, got £160 just to throw around for these? But if you're looking to do some form of maybe marathon training, half marathon training, then you probably only need to buy something like this, and it will do all of it for you. So that's where I'm kind of at, but now this comes to you. Where are you at in this argument? Do we need a daily trainer? Are you now shifting over to these super trainers? Are you ever going to buy a daily trainer again? Or are you only going to be buying these super daily trainer things, right? Like this. So it's an interesting topic, and I want to know from you where you're at on this, right? So let me know in the comments how you're feeling about this, because I think these are definitely here to stay, right? And I do think they're going to cannibalise these in terms of the daily trainer. And I think we're all probably, to be honest with you, going to end up with something like this anyway, but whatever. So let me know in the comments. This is the important part. Over to you now. I'll dive in there once this video drops. But yeah, I'll catch you later.